Surrey, a short story, read by Kelly Shriver from BoundOff, podcast number 3.
Sue Ray by Brenda C. Wilson. My mother can rattle on for hours about something Sue Ray said when they took a break from bar tacking pants pockets. I hold the phone to my ear and trail my fingers through the dust accumulated on the windowsill. As the unmarried daughter, my news is eclipsed by stories of engagements, babies, breakups, and breakdowns. Yet I can tell on my siblings, like when we were still kids, hear my mother's stories, and be the Caldwell family historian. Despite our ages, we are the same children from the black and white photos, playing hide-and-go-seek on Sundays until dusk. Our roles are captured there in the portrait under the chinaberry tree, a storyteller, a liar, a sad one, and a beautiful one trapped in the sepia light. Sue Ray is leaving her third husband that slaps her around every Friday night. I swear I don't understand young women, says my mother. Really, there is nothing new for me to say about this story. We worked extra hours this week to get a special shipment out, big old plaid shorts. 5 days a week they sit on an assembly line stitching back pockets that come tied in bundles. Bar tacking. She has shown me how they assemble the pockets. A few quick turns where they stitch the actual pocket, and then she flips it over and tacks the corners on the top side. They never work on finished pants, just the back pockets. Making production or completing a certain number of bundles per day without rejects means that she makes better than minimum wage. Plus, any rejected work is returned by the line inspector, pulled apart, and restitched. Work stories are soft lead-ins to my mother's phone narratives of the week. Sue Ray's pains are not our pains. We can afford to be callous with our judgments. She is not part of our family and white. I am hundreds of miles away, hiding my life behind well-chosen, filtered details and Christmas visits. I work in a windowless gray office analyzing real estate loans, sifting through documents and calculating the repayment ability of the bank's customers. At lunchtime, I wander the streets and stare at men's asses, wondering if my mother bar-tacked their back pockets, too. I got some scraps to start a new quilt. They had several nice leftover pieces of cloth. Sue Ray, none of these young women bother to try and quilt. My mother's talking about me, too. I have never learned anything remotely domestic. From the open doorway of the prefab metal factory, I have seen the women hunched over their machines, intent on the day's production, with the whirring and humming of the machines filling the building like an orchestrated giant engine. Their movements are like robots, their heads bent down and their arms sawing the air with close movement as they stitch the often unrecognizable parts with demon alacrity, as if their lives depended on the assembly of pants. My mother often brought home scraps of fabric and large paper spools of thread shaped like inverted ice cream cones that would have otherwise been discarded after a production run for special sizes, types, and pants colors. Once in a while they laughed at the final products at the factory sale. Big and tall sizes are Mr. Glenn's garment plant specialty, 42 by 42 and larger. I've been waiting on your daddy to go get some grocery before the meat is picked over, she says in a sing-song way. Although she has a car, my mother doesn't like to drive herself to the market. She yells into the phone because for too many years she has worked in these plants with machinery screaming into fast open rooms without so much as an earplug or a mask from the fabric dust. A union would have made a difference, according to my father, who is 100% United Auto Worker. My father comes home each night with black oil spots on his blue uniform. Samuel is written in blue lettering, encircled by red embroidery on the white patch pocket. Your father is late again, probably at the state line buying beer instead of coming home first. Did I tell you Sue Ray is getting another divorce? Only once this week, Mom. My mother ignores my sarcasm. Each day at the garment plant, they take 2 15-minute breaks, one at 10 o'clock and one at 3 o'clock. Most of the women find a corner in the break room to light a cigarette or eat crackers and chips from the snack machine. My mother thinks that Sue Ray is a foolish woman, yet she insists on sitting at the table with her at break and at lunch. I think my mother is fascinated by Sue Ray's life and the fact that she could change it, but she won't. Sue Ray has been married 3 times at age 30 with 3 children, one from each marriage. Many of the young women, black and white, are like Sue Ray. They marry as a form of recreation in the backwater hometown that I escaped. Their lives have not been about college or career choices such as the ones my mother worked towards for my siblings and me. Few people from my high school class have made the break from factory jobs and bad marriages. Bad examples are the only heirloom passed down by the poor people that we know. Harriet Henderson started working here. She left the Vernon plant. Didn't she graduate with one of you? If she was my daughter, I would whoop her ass.